How about looking at the State House on this Friday morning? You see those cranes there in the background. We got some beautiful construction weather there because things are actually going to be clear, at least for this afternoon. Got some warm temperatures too. Just a beautiful start to your Friday morning. It is 6 o'clock. Glad you're up with us here on 13 Sunrise, and glad to be telling you about close to 80-degree temperatures on a Friday.
Sounds very nice. We are definitely looking forward to it, and it sounds like we might need to really soak it in too, because then we have some road bumps as we get back into the week next week.
We do. We're going to get a little cool this weekend, and with some rain showers too. So today may be the best day if you consider the weekend, you know, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Today's going to be spectacular.
Well, Friday is my best day anyway. I have the whole weekend ahead.
You still have it ahead.
Yes.
Yeah, because by Sunday afternoon, thinking, uh-oh.
Depression.
Right. But we do have a cold front on the way, and that will be arriving overnight tonight. That cold front's going to likely spark rain and storms after midnight, and then it's going to be a wet start tomorrow morning. It's the reason why the Carmel Marathon has been postponed. Right now, though, we're dry, we're mainly clear, and it is a little cool this morning. You're looking live in Indianapolis. You're looking out towards the west, towards Eagle Creek and Traders Point. We're in the upper 50s. A little bit cooler than some low 70s we've had earlier throughout the week. We broke a lot of record low temperatures and how warm they've been. But this morning, a little cooler. Still nice, though. Got some 40s, though, popping up. I'm watching you guys in Marion and Logansport. It's 50 in Frankfort. Good morning in Muncie and Tipton, both sitting at 52. 52 in Newcastle and Richmond. 52 in New Pal. Good morning in Carmel. It's 51. 53 Fishers. 58 there in Indianapolis and 53. Good morning in Brownsburg. Farther to the south, mid-50s from Bloomington to Bedford and Edinburgh. Still holding on to 62, but not for much longer. We're mainly clear. Yes, we've had a little bit of patchy fog for some of our northern counties. Closer to Indianapolis, things are clear, but we'll have 50s to start. Don't worry, we're going to warm up with the mid-80s for highs later this afternoon. But we do need to be on the lookout for storms. As we're basking in some warm, sunny weather with a couple high clouds, we're going to be watching bigger thunderstorms develop off towards our west, and Indiana has some severe zones itself. Not in Indy, but to our north and west. It's a big cutoff. So coming up, we're going to be timing out some rain and storms as they're going to be arriving in from the west. We'll show you how strong they'll be and what kind of threats you can expect. Let's talk traffic this morning as you're headed out the door here at 6:02. No big crashes or accidents. We're looking pretty good. I do want to show you some construction zones. This is I-465 by Allisonville Road. Traffic's flowing fine so far this morning, back and forth, east and westbound lanes. And then this is a live looking Hancock County. Good morning in Greenfield through the construction zone. Traffic's moving fine this morning. Gas prices still trying to head in the right direction. Julia, we had a 3-cent drop. Every little bit counts.
Absolutely, it does. Thank you. Well, today, a man accused of shooting at IMPD officers is expected to make his initial court appearance.
He is facing charges of battery by means of a deadly weapon. Police say Joel Rector shot at them with an air rifle from the window of a house. The house was across the street from another shooting scene that police were responding to on Indy South Side.
So I want to show you some video of officers. This is when they arrived at that home where they got the call to about a week ago. We know at least one officer shot at that suspect who ended up in the hospital in critical condition, but it's not clear if he was shot by an officer or his own gun. No officers were injured. The one involved is on administrative leave.
Yeah, we're getting out of here. I don't want to stay here another night. We don't want to stay where my daughter was attacked.
That is Sarah Elsie, a mother who says that a man tried to strangle and abduct her 11-year-old daughter, pulling her through her apartment window on Indy's north side.
They also say this happened while they were sleeping, so pretty frightening. Marina is in studio with us this morning with what we're learning about this police investigation. Good morning.
Well, good morning. A close call has a local mom scrambling to move after she says someone targeted her 11-year-old daughter. Now, thankfully, the girl is physically okay, but what happened inside her bedroom is deeply unsettling. Now, Sarah Elsie says her daughter, Sophia, jerked her awake on Thursday morning, now terrified and saying someone tried to kill her. When Sarah rushed into her daughter's room, she says there were signs there. The window wide open, blinds tied up with a tie, and the screen completely gone, and outside a chair positioned right beneath the window. Now, Elsie said the only description of the man her daughter gave was that he was wearing a dark ski mask and dark gloves.
As a single mom, I try to do everything I can to protect my kids, and we're, just laying at home asleep like anybody else would be at night. I'm terrified. I don't want to be here.
Immediately, Sarah packed up her things, called 911, and started finding a new place to live. So far, there's no arrest, and a detective was seen walking around the complex yesterday. Coming up at 6:30, hear how IMPD is responding and other incidents at that same complex.
Yeah, it's really tough to feel safe in a situation like that, Marina. Thank you. It's 6:05. A judge just sentenced the man who killed a beloved local restaurant owner. Justin Jones will spend 70 years in prison for the murder of George Nelson Sr. He was the owner of Pa and Ma's Backyard Barbecue. The shooting was in 2024, apparently over the result of a fight over money after Nelson hired Jones to help him with a few projects. We did speak to Nelson's family last month after Jones was convicted. They are still running the restaurant in Nelson's honor, keeping his memory alive.
This morning, the State Budget Committee has passed millions of dollars that will impact thousands of Hoosiers.
One of those ways is through unfreezing the child care voucher program that helps families afford child care. Anna Chalker has been following the development since the governor made that announcement earlier this week. What does this move now mean for families who qualify?
Well, ladies, there's still a little waiting in this process. Those families, they won't know if they're moved off of the wait list until May. But what we do know is that $200 million have now been moved into the Frog Fund to help this process. And 14,000 kids, they're going to be picked to get moved off the wait list and get their voucher and go to any daycare or childcare with no worries on the money of this. So when they are approved, in total in the state, 57,000 kids will receive a voucher. But with that, there will be kids that'll be left behind on the wait list. That's around 21,000. And for lawmakers that are in the state budget committee, there were questions about why this process had to be frozen for 15 months and why the governor decided to not act on it sooner.
There isn't anything we're doing here with this $200 million that we couldn't have done last year if we wanted to in the budget session in 2025. The governor could have asked for this then. He had every right to do that, did he not?
Well, I think you're forgetting the very difficult, and he talked about this earlier in the week, 11th hour economic forecast that he received and that the General Assembly received, and they felt compelled to make changes in that to bring the budget into prospectively a better situation.
And lawmakers also shared their concerns about how this $200 million doesn't help the providers. So cuts that led to more than 300 child care centers to shut down. And there will still not be a pay increase for any of those providers who may be restarting their business or have continued going on these last 15 months. Now, this was not the only topic in this committee hearing. We had a lot of money talks going on, and one of them surrounding the Chicago Bears, the one topic we can't get out of the State House. So coming up, we'll share how all of that talks could impact your wallet if you drive the toll roads that go between Chicago and Indiana.
And a lot of people do. Thank you, Anna.
Well, we do have some news out of Delaware County this morning. The city of Muncie is responding to a special investigation report released by the state's Board of Accounts.
This is about operations within the Muncie Parks and Rec Department.
The report outlines a number of deficiencies in internal controls and financial procedures over multiple years. This investigation began in 2022 after city leaders raised concerns about the financial processes within the department.
The city fired one employee in December 2024 and then a second one during the investigation. The Delaware County prosecutor Eric Hoffman did release this statement concerning this. He says he did receive the report from the Indiana State Board of Accounts via email, but hasn't had a chance to read it or speak with investigators or auditors when we reached out. He goes on to say it appears to relate to allegations concerning the unauthorized actions of two former Muncie Parks Department employees. And now that he's received the report, he'll review it for any evidence of criminal activity.
Well, the state attorney general is delivering a message to employers here in Indiana about the state's new immigration law. He joined members of the Central Midwest Carpenters Union to talk about the Fairness Act, which goes into effect in our state July 1st. So for the first time, this will give him the authority to investigate businesses suspected of hiring undocumented workers. Under this new law, employers can face fines and even temporary or permanent closure of their businesses for violations. The AG says his office is already receiving tips about businesses suspected of hiring people who are not here legally.